Hey everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jake Speak with Jacob Elyashar podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyashar, the chief content producer and writer of JakeSpeak.com. Alrighty, guys, we had the finale of the America's Got Talent Champion Season 2 on Monday. And for those of you who have it on DVR or who haven't watched it yet, my advice: pause this podcast right now and go watch it, because I'm going to spoil the winner for you. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to do that, and then once you're done, come back over here so you can listen to the remainder of the podcast. Alrighty? Alrighty, guys. The winner of America's Got Talent, the Champions, Season 2 is The Unbeatable. Congratulations, The Unbeatable. I'm so happy for them. They walked away with 4th place last year. In all honesty, they should have won the entire thing of Season 14. Howie Mandel, this is his second Golden Buzzer win since Grace Vanderwall won back in 2016 during Season 11 of the regular version of America's Got Talent. Now, normally on JakeSpeak.com, I go on doing a paragraph or two or article about the ways that Simon, NBC, and the production team can improve upon the show if it goes into Season 3. So here are some of my ideas on how to improve the show for Season 3. Let's start with the obvious. They need to incorporate the live shows. Fans on social media were unhappy that they did not have the chance to vote for this series, even though the show is taped from start to finish. I have to say they need the live show elements of the regular version of America's Got Talent. They need to incorporate them into the America's Got Talent Champion Series. By bringing the show's later rounds live, it raises the stakes to the entire competition. I could just imagine the Russia Sendow Bar Trio and Duo Transcend performing and be unbeatable. Those acts are very physical, and they need all the right concentration. Maybe the live show act will probably amp up the pressure for them. And I gotta say, it could lead to higher ratings, which is the most obvious thing that everyone on NBC and the Got Talent production team wants. Also, another element that needs to return: the Wildcard Acts. During the very first season of America's Got Talent Champions, John Dorembos and also Darcy Lynn Farmer each received a wildcard spot. And Darcy almost won the entire thing. She was up against Shin Lim in the finals, and we all know that Shin Lim was the inaugural winner of that show. So I gotta say, this season, a lot of my fan favorites, a lot of my favorite acts, and a lot of fan favorites were eliminated way too early. I'm talking about Brian King Joseph. I'm talking about Calabro, Connie Talbot, Mark Spellman, also known as X, Otis Perlman, and Patty Nico. And I believe that the viewers should have the power to vote 2 to 3 acts from the first 4 weeks of competition. And the top 3 vote getters have the opportunity to re-enter the competition during the live semifinal rounds. Where another thing needs to happen: they need to reinstate Terry Crews's Golden Buzzer. For the first show season, he had Kenzia, who's a really amazing fan artist that won one of the International Got Talents. And she repeated the same thing on Britain's Got Talent, the Champions, and won Amanda Holden's Golden Buzzer and made it to the Britain's Got Talent, the Champions finale. I gotta say, I think Terry's Golden Buzzer was taken away because of Detroit Youth Choir, which, in all honesty, should not have been in the series to begin with. But I gotta say, reinstate Terry Crews's Golden Buzzer, and if they do decide to do that, they should probably place it and give Terry the option to press that Golden Buzzer during the semifinals. So at least one act can breathe their sigh of relief. Now let's talk about the judges. I gotta say, Alicia Dixon was a fabulous addition to the show. I loved her energy. I loved her passion for all the acts. And I love that she talked to Simon and Heidi about, like, previewing which Britain's Got Talent acts worked. She talked about, she was there when she offered words of encouragement for, like, Ben Hart and Collabora when their performances fell apart. And I gotta say, the silhouettes were a really good choice for a Golden Buzzer act. And I gotta say, if Alicia comes back, I hope she comes back for Champions. But if she's unable to do it, I would love the theme of seeing other Got Talent judges from around the world and maybe a few familiar faces rejoin the show. Now let's start off with Asia's Got Talent. I gotta say, Angun and David Foster are my top two choices. They've been on the show since its premiere back in 2015, and they both have unique elements to them. For example, Angun is a heavy hitter when it comes to Asian reality television performance-based shows. And David Foster is like basically like Simon and has found a lot of success working with a lot of incredible mega artists like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Barbra Streisand, Celine Dion, Earth, Wind & Fire, so on and so forth. I gotta say, David has great taste for talent, and I would love to see him in How We Seat, because I would love to see how Simon and David banter, or if there's a rivalry. Speaking of Britain's Got Talent, I would love to see Amanda Holden. Now, Amanda Holden has been on Britain's Got Talent since its inception, so she has seen a lot of acts go through. She's seen Paul Potts, she's seen Susan Boyle, she's seen Collabora, she's seen Patty and Nico, who, by the way, were her first original Golden Buzzer. And a lot of her Golden Buzzer picks either get to semifinals or go all the way and almost win Britain's Got Talent. I would love to see her energy back on the show, and I think she'd be a welcome addition for all Got Talent superfans that watch the series. Another person I would try to see if Simon and the producers could recruit is Michelle Visage. Now, I know some of you listening to this say, hey, wait a minute. Michelle Visage belongs to the RuPaul's Drag Race community. What does she have to do with Got Talent? Well, the answer is this. For 2 seasons, Michelle Visage actually sat next to Simon's BFF, Louis Walsh, during Ireland's Got Talent. I gotta say, Michelle's another person that has a great sense of humor, has a really keen eye on talent, and can definitely pick some really good Golden Buzzer acts. Finally, we make it to Australia's Got Talent. Up first, Dannii Minogue. Now, Dannii Minogue may be a familiar name for X Factor superfans. Dannii Minogue worked with Simon, Louis, Sharon for 1 season, and Michelle for the rest of her time on X Factor. They pretty much discovered Ollie Murs, and One Direction, and Alexandra Burke. So there's some credibility to her name. And also, she judged the first 6 seasons of Australia's Got Talent, which produced Jack Fidgen, who, by the way, was on America's Got Talent Champions Season 2. Another name I would probably throw out is Jerry Halliwell. I love Jerry Halliwell. She was really good on Australia's Got Talent Season 7. She's been called in multiple times to substitute for people on X Factor UK. And I think, with her singing competition being canceled, I think that gives her room in her schedule to compete and comes down. And finally, I would ask Kelly Osbourne. Kelly Osbourne is going through a renaissance period in her career. She just finished The Masked Singer. She's been substituting for her mom on The Talk. And she's been reinterested in music. Kelly, I think, was a great addition for Australia's Got Talent's 8th season, and I could see her filling that chair that once belonged to her mother. Speaking of Sharon, I would love to see Sharon back. I think fans still love Sharon, and they want her back to come back on as a guest or for a season or 2. And she was on America's Got Talent, the regular version, from season 2 to season 7. So from 2007 to 2012. And she's seen a lot of incredible acts go through. She was on the show when Terry Crews auditioned and won. She was there when Jackie Ovanko was discovered, when Barbara Badilla was discovered, Texas Tenors, Fighting Gravity, Illuminate, Sideswipe, who have all done incredible things. I could definitely see her come back just to test Simon's patience, but also I think a lot of fans would welcome her back with open arms. Sadly, that's not the case because she fell out with NBC after what happened with Jack all those years ago, and I would love to see her return. But would the network play ball with the show? Another person that I think that I would love to see come back, but it's not very likely that he will come back to judge, is Howard Stern, the king of all media. He was on America's Got Talent season 7, season 10, and like Sharon, he was responsible for building the foundation of what America's Got Talent is today. And a lot of acts that came his way during his era include the Latte Dogs, William Close, Andrew DeLeon, Kenichi Bina, Taylor Williamson, the Forte Tenors, Freckled Sky, Matt Franco, Emily West, Paul Zerden, Acro Army, Emil Dario, Drew Lynch, so on and so forth. So Howard Stern has a really good track record as a judge. And I think that I would love to see him on the same panel as Simon. It could be Idol's own Nicki Minaj versus Mariah. And I gotta say, Howard's not happy with the way that Simon treated Gabrielle Union and has definitely called him out while he can. I think it's the main reason why is because of the Sony debacle where a lot of leaked papers were leaked, and Simon said that he wanted Howard Stern's job to sit on Got Talent for America. So that's why I think Howard is kind of pissed at Simon. But it'd be great because I would love to see him and Howard and Simon mix it up on a panel. But also I think we need some new blood on the show. Maybe a new judge, maybe an unknown. That would definitely shake things up with Simon. And maybe we need to have like a male equivalent of Meghan McCain so that that they have like a view, right? Like have banter, like confrontations. It'd be fun. I think it would elevate the excitement of it. And also we need to have someone that's not afraid to buzz a kid act. Or any act that possibly should not be on Got Talent Champions. Anyway, those are my suggestions, guys. What do you think? Also, I just want to let you know that there's a brand new article on jakestake.com that features 24 acts that I believe would be perfect additions for America's Got Talent Season 3, The Champion Season 3, if NBC renews. They include a lot of people I've interviewed in the past, a lot of acts from the old school edition, and I gotta say, I really want to see a lot of them there. Terry Fader, Matt Franco, the Latte Dogs, and Cody Lee definitely are winners that we haven't seen yet, and that would definitely and fans could definitely come gravitate towards them. And there hasn't been a lot of powerhouse voices in the competition that represents the U.S. I'm like talking about Brandon James. I'm talking about Andrew DeLeon, Barbara Badilla, the Forte Tenors, Emily West, Sharon Irving, and Christina Wells, those kind of voices. I would also love to see some choirs come back. I think that the three choirs that come to my mind immediately, Angel City Chorale, Musicality, and then the Dolo from last season. You can read all about the acts on jakestake.com. Once again, it's jakes-take.com. And also, guys, coming up, I'll be discussing more about America's Got Talent and its upcoming 15th anniversary season with entertainment journalist Matt and Jessica Carter of CarterMatt.com. We'll be talking more about America's Got Talent and also their thoughts on Survivor's Winners at War season and also potential Big Brother All-Stars cast. That will be coming up on the next edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Ellie Show podcast. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you want to reach me by social media, I'm at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jacob Ellie-Shar. Once again, JACOBELYACHAR on Facebook, Instagram, and social media, and Twitter. And also, you can read the articles on jakestake.com, including my recap of the finale and more.